Hello and good morning. We're just waiting for my friend James to join us. Please stay with us and let's welcome James to the stage. James, welcome.
Good morning, Greg. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. That's it. We go live on. Great. So, hello and good morning, and my bright minds and passionate souls. Welcome to Sunday Rendezvous, where energy meets strategy, and the universe conspires to bring success to those who dare and dream to do. I'm Greg Piskazub, joined by my insightful James Wyatt.
Good morning, Greg. Good morning, everyone. Today's going to be unbelievably exciting because we're going to be unfolding that blueprint that will give you leverage in your business, where the art of finding the right person to help you grow your business. And that will give you that, that mindset to believe that anything's possible, because if you're surrounded by the people that can grow your business and do the stuff you're not great at, then that's when you can, really scale and become a very, very successful business.
Indeed. So grab yourself a coffee. Let's transform potential into action together. And today we'll be covering the three key areas that are very important to distinguish your success in business, and the reason why you've left 9 to 5. And maybe if you haven't left your 9 to 5, maybe these are a good reason to start, to start thinking about it. And just before we came live, we were talking with James. It's like, what was the reason behind leaving the 9 to 5 and starting your own business? So if you struggle, stay tuned and we might help you. So the first thing we'll be covering is the hiring right people, is the who, not how, to leverage your business and mastering hiring, delegating, and growth mindset. But to start with is hiring the right person, who, not how. What are James, what would you say that are, 3 or 4 key areas when we focus on hiring the right people?
Right. So I think we just need to understand that if people are in a 9 to 5 job, or indeed we have some entrepreneurs on the show, is that why are entrepreneurs in business? Well, they are people that want to take the risk and have their own business and share in the profits. But they're also, you need to remember, some people start businesses to make a difference. So there's a profit related sort of strategy, and there's a to make a difference kind of strategy. And I think a modern entrepreneur would combine the two. So what we're talking about here is you can't do this on your own, Greg. If you are a one-man band, if you're working for yourself, then you will put a ceiling on the amount of money that you can earn, or indeed the amount of, stuff that can be done in a day, and the amount of, impact you make on the world. So we need people around us to help us with our business. So the first thing we need to do, is understanding what is it that we stand for. What is our passion? What is our core value? What is our mission statement? Why are we in business? What are we trying to do? Are we in the customer centricity business? Are we, in service accommodation? Are we in, retail business, manufacturing? Whatever it is that we do, what is it that got us out of bed? What got us passionate about that role? So find people that have similar core values to you. So that's the first thing I would say, Greg.
Yeah, absolutely. It is important to have the people. So hiring process is actually very complex, and I would say this is the best part of the year, of the 12 months, to find that person. So also the hiring is about when. this is the right time of the year to hire someone. We're just coming off the, from winter season, when you're working on your focus on your business, trying to fix everything that is been bugging you for months. This is the right time. We're getting out of the winter. We're hiring new people. I'm hiring currently for both of my businesses. You hire the right person, and you've got time just before the summer months when you're focusing on the productivity, on sales, and the core values are important, like James mentioned,
Yeah.
but also
Yeah. Greg,
skills.
I just want to touch on that, because some people might not understand what you've just said there, and it's really,
Okay.
really important. Businesses are seasonal,
Yes.
just like the seasons of the year. Businesses are seasonal, and you cannot have your foot on the gas
Hmm.
all year round. You will burn yourself out. You have to understand there's a time for slowing down, there's a time for looking at your systems, and there's a time for hiring and getting ready for putting your foot down. And what Greg's saying is, now is the time we look at hiring our people so that we're getting ready to put our foot down for the summer months. Is that what you mean?
James, actually, yes, but this is a deeper than just that. So what we're going to do is, next week we're actually going to cover seasonality of the business, and the four parts to the year where you focusing on your business and
Good.
working on your business.
Good.
So these live podcasts that we do here today for you is to help you, help you leverage your business, take it to the next level.
Okay.
And
Good.
what are yours, what was your reason? James asked me that question. What was your reason to get out of 9 to 5 and starting your own business? And what we are doing here for you is, and together with you, we are growing, and we help our audience grow with us. And we're just covering the topics that help us to be successful in the business. And that's what we want to do, is share with you. And these hiring practices that we've done mistakes before. I've hired people because I just really liked them, or they were really just fun to be around, but actually that's not successful hiring. So I've done my mistakes, I've done my learning, and over the years I've learned that hiring is more complex than we know.
Yeah.
And the core values that James was relating to are very important. The skills versus attitude. James, have because you're a very high energy guy. What was your experience when you put skills and attitude together? What did you find out?
Right. So the first thing I do is that, obviously you're looking at someone's CV before you see them. So you obviously are, I used to call people first just to see what they're like on the phone, make sure they've got the right sort of confidence about them,
Hmm.
that I like, because obviously my businesses were, customer centric. They're a customer facing role. So we need to make sure we've got that right kind of confident, helpful voice on a phone. And then I'd have them in for a face-to-face interview. So I think what we're saying here is that somebody's skills, okay, what they've learned in the past might be not what their attitude is now. So their attitude is how they approach work, how they do everything, how they do anything should be how they do everything. So if they're smart and they're well spoken and they're confident, then they're pretty much going to have a good attitude, in their job. So they might have the skills, they might have the qualifications, but really the attitude is also very, very important, Greg.
Yes, well, I totally agree with you. So it's this this fine balance between the attitude and skills. You will have a high performing people, and they have greatest skills, but actually they have they don't have the right attitudes to be at the forefront of your business.
Yeah,
So you as an entrepreneur, you as your business, you have to determine if this person is right to be facing the client, and
yeah,
or if this person is better to be sitting behind the scenes
yeah,
and taking your business from the back, from the back chair
yeah,
forwards, analyzing this stuff. So last week we were covering the topics about your unique ability and how you should be looking into hiring the right person. But
yeah.
we're gonna help you today.
Well, the
And
thing is, Greg, let me just give you an example of that, because I think it's always important that we can, we can think about examples that we've had. Now, I was looking the other day, and it looks like I've sort of taken on about 300 staff in my time, so I'm pretty much used to sort of interviewing people and all the techniques that come with that. But this is one thing that's always stuck with me, and it's something I did myself. So when I was 19, I was looking for a job, and I saw a sign on a window. It was a newsagent, and it said assistant manager required, must be 21 and over. Okay, so I'm 19 at the time. So I stroll in, asked to speak to the manager, and I said, I'd like to apply for the job, please. And he said, well, yeah, great. Actually, I've got 5 minutes now. Would you like to have a quick chat? So I sat down in his office, and we were chatting away, and we were getting on like a house on fire. We were really sort of connecting well. We both had good energies. And like you said, Greg, at that point, it's very easy to hire somebody because you like them.
yes,
But we really should be hiring people that are the opposite of us in a lot of ways. And we'll be covering that next time. But my point is we were very close to the ending of the interview, and it was going really well, and I felt a great vibe about it. Then he said to me, so can I just take your date of birth? And I said, whatever my date of birth was. And he said, but you're not 21. It does say on the door, must be 21. And he laughed, and I laughed, and I got the job. And I became one of the youngest retail managers for this particular brand in the UK. And that's what we talk about, attitude. We talk about a go-get attitude, be positive, put yourself in an uncomfortable place. And let me tell you now, opportunity always opens that door for you. So that's what we mean about having the right attitude.
perfect. What it is, we having a little technical trouble, and this is all live. We been disconnected temporarily from Facebook, but we are back on it. Hopefully, if not, we are going to upload this recording from today back on Facebook if we continue to have these issues. But anyway,
Do you think the BBC have these issues? Probably not. Okay, so why don't we? So now we understand that skills and attitude are two different things, and quite often, I'm not really interested in somebody's academics. What I want to know is what's their attitude now? What are they going to be like working for me right now? Because you can teach somebody the skills and you can put them through qualifications and all sorts of courses. But it's that attitude, isn't it? Is it the attitude that is going to drive my business forward? Do they share the core values of my business? Are they going to enjoy working in the business? So attitude far outweighs skills, Greg, in my opinion. Unless, of course, you're a heart surgeon, and then you might need the skills.
Well, of course, yeah,
and the attitude.
There are business out there that requires solely on skills, and maybe the attitude is not the forefront of it. But I highly also agree with James that attitude is very important, because we are in a people business, actually. So we are either providing services or product, but these are for other people or for other businesses. So the business is being done usually in the room, over the phone, and before we buy product from someone, before we buy someone's services, we firstly buy them. We firstly make our mind about, okay, I trust that person. I can get into a business with them, and that's where attitude is actually the very important part, the most important part of your business. Because before you're able to sell your services or your product, you actually need to sell yourself. So, or your team need to sell for you. Which in this case, that's what we're doing. We are hiring the right people with right attitude to help you take your business to the next level.
And the thing is, Greg, if you've got happy, I don't expect your staff to be coming in, jumping up and down, clipping their heels, happy every day, because obviously we've all got our own lives to lead. But we need to put food in the fridge, so we need to earn some money. So if your staff are happy and they enjoy coming to work, then sickness is much better. People want to be there. And you're absolutely right. There's this energy, there's this high energy sort of that runs through your business. And when people talk to you on the phone, or they come in and see you in person, they just can feel it. we're all energetic, soulful beings, and we're all vibrating. So if your
Mhm.
staff are vibrating and you're vibrating, and the business is vibrating business, let me tell you now, that is a powerful, powerful, powerful thing. So definitely attitude, happy at your work, know what you're doing, feel great, feel appreciated. It's just such a buzzy thing, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, totally, 100%. And the concept to add on the hiring the right people is the who not how philosophy.
Classic.
Uh,
Yeah, classic.
and
Who, not how.
it is so. We have related to who not how before, on previous episode, and it is actually key to realize that you don't need to think about how the things are being done, but who are the right person to do it for you. Because we get stuck on as an entrepreneur, it's in the business where you are the only person, or maybe you have a small team, and you
Mm,
think like, oh, it's gonna be quicker if I do it rather than train someone and get them up to speed. But actually, that's the key.
yeah.
Delegating is that's the actually we're going to get onto delegating, but that's the key of finding the right person to do the task for you. And
Mm,
usually you need to find them so they are better at the task than you are, and they will perform the task in a timely manner. And we're going to actually go onto the delegating and how to do it effectively. But the who not how philosophy is essentially
mm.
finding the who's and not
Yeah.
worry about the how, because you have to let it go at some point. And
Yeah.
this is the hardest thing for any entrepreneur.
I
But
just
we
want to touch
also
on something. Just want to touch on something, Greg, before we move
go
on
on.
from who, not how. You know, business owners, they see two things. They see the problem. So the how am I going to do this? They also understand if it's not done correctly, the consequences. Okay. So it's the problem and the consequences. That's what business owners or most of us worry about. It's not the problem. It's not just the problem. It's the consequences. Where sometimes a fresh pair of eyes, somebody coming into the business that doesn't understand the consequences because
Yes.
they don't run the business, they see it as well, I can do that. I can do that. I've got full confidence in myself. I can do that for you. But the entrepreneur, the business owner, is not. Yes, they understand that enthusiasm, but it's the consequences of it not working. They've also got that heavy weight of responsibility. So sometimes I think businesses will benefit from consultants that come in with a clean set of eyes. They see it from their perspective, and it used to happen to me. So as
Hmm.
you know, Greg, I used to run a very successful parcel business, and quite often I was asked by head office to go into other depots and to
Hmm.
help them with best practice. And quite often I could see things quite easily that needed changing, or perhaps somebody there wasn't in the right role, but the business owner just saw the consequences of the change. So one of the things I do now is I like to give advice on business. I can see what needs doing quite often
Hmm.
before the entrepreneur can. So that was what we were going to say. Because it's how am I going to do this? It's also the consequences of getting it wrong that's weighing the entrepreneur down. So very, very important to let go, understand there's other people out there that can do what you do better because you probably don't enjoy certain roles, and there are people out there that can do the job just as effectively as you. So who, not how. Stop thinking about how can I do something,
Yes,
and start thinking about who can I find to do it for me.
indeed. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. And this is leading us very nicely onto the second part of today's podcast. This is about the delegating to elevate your business. Because if you got your who, not how, if you got your who's, the right people in your business, they would be the key element to take your business to the next level. And delegating might not be the easiest thing because this is the element where you are letting go and putting your business and your future in someone else's hands. But actually, you can't do it alone. You can't do everything on your own. You really need to put trust and let go other people, and that is the key to your
Mm,
business success.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's the it's the change and challenges that you have to embrace in your business by delegating. So uh, I would say encourage and embrace challenges. These are the opportunities for growth and
Yeah.
learning, and in all the obstacle to avoid on your way to success. So, James, could you just give us, a little bit how you've come to delegating, to your VAs, to your personal assistant? How do you do that?
Okay. So the first thing you've got to understand is that you could have hired the most amazing person that had the right attitude, all the skills that you needed, but until you actually put them in the job role, you don't really know how good or bad they're going to be. And let me tell you now, they will not fit exactly. You need to let them grow into the
Yeah.
role. You need to, because you would have seen the role through your eyes and what you expected it to be
Hmm.
like because you've been doing it. And unfortunately, we all have our unique abilities. We've talked about this. We're
Yes.
all very, very different, and we do approach problems in different ways. So, delegating it to somebody else, the first thing that's going to happen is it will probably get worse. Okay. The job will probably get slightly worse in your eyes. But that doesn't mean to say it's got worse in the overall effect. It's just your eyes, because obviously what we see through our own eyes, what we see is what we see. Other
Hmm.
people might see a better process being formed. They might see it being done in a better way. So delegation is the first thing, and understand it might get worse before it gets better, but don't give up on those people. Yeah. You want to be, clear communication. Yeah. Let them understand what you want from them, what you're trying to achieve. Lots and lots of feedback,
Hmm.
lots and lots of, what could be done better, what could be done differently. But I do know this, Greg, it can take months for somebody to finally click into that role that you've given to them. but but and of course you might have given up on them by then. So it's really important that when we delegate somebody to a job, there is going to be a slight slump. There will be probably a slight lack of quality or whatever it is that will change because you're not doing it. But if you stick with them, yeah, grow with them, give them feedback and clear leadership, let me tell you now, they will grow into something better than you could ever have imagined. And then once you've got that, you've let go and you've delegated that one thing, it'll be like it'll just be you'll just be amazing how wonderful that feels.
And from my experience, here helping you, our lovely entrepreneurs and people who have left 9 to 5 job, and if you haven't, maybe it's the time. Delegating is yeah, keep it. So it's a KISS process. KISS is
Mm.
keep it simple, stupid. Uh, the clearer the message and communication with the person that you're delegating, and set the expectations, and also you need to set the KPIs. So because you can't improve anything if it's not being measured. So,
Absolutely.
and that's the best way to delegate and let it go. Because it is scary, James, as James mentioned, when you delegate a task to someone else, there is that element of like, will they achieve what I want them to do? And at that point, you have to let go.
Mm.
You've set the clear expectations. You've set, there are measures in place to find out if they've been successful, how they are doing, are they being effective? So
Yeah.
I would say maximum of three, clear expectations and measurable goals that you're going to set to the person you're delegating your job or your task or anything.
Yeah.
Even simple things like, well, simple for others, your inbox, for example. Let's take that into into perspective. So if someone manages your inbox, your mail, you have to set a clear expectations, and as well you have to set a clear measure. So are we going through those emails, getting answered to? So, and also the very important, am I getting a time back?
Yeah.
Because if that's the key more than anything. If you're delegating anything to your assistant or your colleague, you need to get return on your investment, which is time.
Yeah.
When you delegate the job, you need to you need to free up some of your time, because that is actually successful delegating. Because if you're delegating the job only to be end up doing this job in a different way, then
Yeah.
that's pointless. That's actually loss of your business, assets, of your money, of your time, and this is the key to get it right.
Yeah. And I think that really, Greg, I'm just looking at that analogy that you'd be sort of standing over somebody's shoulder, looking at them work, making sure they're doing the emails in the way that you want them to do. So
Mhm.
there will be that initial feeling like you're actually, it's taking up more of your time. You've
Yes.
delegated these tasks and now it's taken up more of your time. But let me tell you, the most important word here is trust. You
Hmm.
have to trust them. They have to feel that trust. If they feel like that they are, on tender hooks, they're worried if they make a mistake, you're going to see them. You need to
Hmm.
understand trust and let go. And you know what? It's okay for a business to fail. It's
Yes.
okay for you to choose the wrong person. It's okay for them to make mistakes, because you can change anything with trust and respect and commitment and clear communication. You just need to stick with people. If they've got the right attitude, remember you hired them on attitude. Yeah. If they've got
Yes.
the right attitude, if you just stick with them, be trusting, clear communication, set KPIs, key performance indicators. So if what Greg's saying is that perhaps a KPI is you need to make sure you've dealt with 10 emails in an hour, something like that. Well, you just monitor that. But at the
And
same time, you make sure you give them the freedom to make mistakes and to
mhm.
just be there for them. You're there to, they don't have to work for you. You want them to want to be there, and that's where trust comes in.
But actually, mistakes are good. Mistakes are good. It's just how
Yeah,
you think about them. Because
yeah,
mistakes are just a direct example of how the job not be. How do you not want the job to be done? And
yeah.
we've got, thank you for our audience, and we've got Josh. Josh just left us a comment, and this is thanks for delegating. Delegating, it's a struggle, but maybe I need a bit more patience and come across clearer, like your advice. And
Thank you,
that's
Josh.
exactly, yeah, Josh, exactly. That's the whole point. Is clarity. Clarity of your message is clear expectations and measurable expectations as well. And that's the best, and yes, element of trust is huge. And but actually, that trust, the letting go, all of these aspects, it starts with us, because it's our mindset that needs to also adapt to this. So it's not only just delegating, finding the right person, delegating the task that you have in hand, is the help that you need with. You've got your problem, or you've got your task that you need to do, you've got your who's, but actually your mindset is very important, because this is where you are actually stepping back and letting
Yeah,
someone else run that part of the business for you, and you have to embrace that challenge.
yeah,
You've got to really give it to it, and also the let go. So this is that element of, okay, they might make a mistake, they might do something wrong, but there isn't a thing in the world that you couldn't fix it. You build
yeah,
the business, it's your
yeah,
business.
yeah.
And it's about letting people letting people enjoy the process, stepping in and make those mistakes if they do. Because
Yeah.
you can step in at any point and get it fixed.
You
But
know,
that's the challenge, isn't it?
yeah. I mean, that's just the classic where we've turned fear of it all going
Yeah.
wrong into success.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, once you learn to let go and you've got some successful people with the right attitude
Mhm.
around you, as long as they're doing 80% of what you need them to do, remember, perfection doesn't exist. So
Yes.
80%, let me tell you that mindset for your business, that's when the entrepreneur's suddenly going to get it and go, oh my goodness, if I have more who's in my business, means I can do more of the stuff that I'm good at. So the mindset then for scalability and growth just suddenly is incredible. Remember, you know, you know, employing people,
Hmm.
that is the oldest leverage there is. There's three leverages. There's people in your business, there's capital, and there's tech. Those are the three main leverages to scale a business. So you've got the right people, and you're letting go and you're feeling great and there's a real buzz in the business. Once other people can feel that, investors, people with money that want to get involved in your business, you bring capital in, you bring innovation, you bring tech in. That is how you scale a business very, very quickly. So fear to success, such a wonderful feeling.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we need to adapt the business, because obviously these current times are very uncertain. We've got a hugely fast growing AI aspect of everything we do, and the lives are changing. And how can we adapt to this quick change, to everything that is going on? And we see a lot, lots of people, producing content, just out of thin air, because how can we face that challenge? And my advice is, don't do it alone. Don't do it alone.
Absolutely.
Do it with the right people. Get yourself in the right environment with people who understand what you want to do. And if you struggle delegating, if you struggle hiring people, let us know. Write to us, give us a comment, and if we can help you, we'll be more than happy to.
Yeah.
That's
Or I was going to say, Greg, actually, perhaps we could get some comments below on somebody that's had a job interview recently, and they
yes.
felt like the interview was a little bit too much about their skills, or perhaps it wasn't too much about their attitude. Perhaps they didn't feel like that, if they got the job, they would feel like they could have the trust. I'd just be interested to know, if anybody's had a modern day interview, and tell us how that went. Or perhaps they had an interview where they were walking around a park, for example, and it was just literally a breath of fresh air, where you were just literally walking with the boss, and he was talking about how he built the business, and you got an understanding of why the business exists and what its passions are. That could be a nice new modern way of interviewing and finding out about a job. And I also think that we have gut feeling, don't we? Remember, this is all about soulful synergies, Greg. This is about us, living our lives from our hearts. So maybe you've gone to a job interview and you just had this gut feeling it wasn't for you, even though it ticked all the boxes in terms of the right money, the right location, and it matched your skills. Perhaps your heart wasn't in the job. Maybe the core values weren't aligned with yours. I'd be really interested to know in the comments if somebody's ever gone to a job interview and they thought, oh, this is exactly what I want to do. But when they actually got there was a gut feeling, their intuition was, there's something wrong here. I'd be very interested to know if anybody had that happen to them. So please let us know.
Absolutely. But then, James, how do you hire people? How do you do that? What's the interview process that you going through? Because it will be different from mine.
Absolutely. Look, it's going to depend on your wealth dynamic. Again, we've talked about this. What makes you tick? Because it also depends on the job. So if you're a very technical person and you're interviewing an engineer, then they're going to want to talk about the detail and the technical stuff, which is not me. That's more you, Greg, isn't it? You'd enjoy that conversation. Whereas if I was in the business of I don't know, being a salesman, for example, I would be more comfortable talking about the blaze, the high energy, the selling procedure. So it really does depend on what the job is and what your wealth dynamic is. But very, very simply, you just want to have a conversation. Like I said, I've had people come to me for job interviews and they're just so nervous. They're so nervous, they're shaking, and it's like, you just want to try and chill them out a little bit. And that's why I said about often a walk around the park can sort of balance things out. You're not in that office environment. You're not in the boss's office. And you just want to get to know people. What is it they're going to be good at? And often I will make up a fictitious scenario. So, for example, Greg, you and me I might be the person that wants a job, and you might be the boss. And just do a bit of role play. So I might make up something that's happened and see how they dealt with that. What was their attitude towards that? But one of the other things I really like is I might often ask somebody, so what did you do? What have you done in the past that's made a difference to your business? And it would need to really relate to the kind of business that they're, or the job that they're applying for now. So I'll give you an example of that. Say, for example, somebody is coming into your business to do an operational role, and it might need some innovation. Maybe it's a production line, maybe it's I don't know, a goods in, maybe it's a parcel business. But I'd want to give them a scenario where there was an issue in the business and what
Hmm.
they would do to fix that in my business. And then we'd also have a conversation about something that they've done in a previous role that's had an impact on that business. So see, there's a couple of things there that you can get people to open up, but it's all about comfort. You've got to get people comfort. You've got to get them being themselves, relax,
Yes.
chill. At the end of the day, you know, you just got to enjoy what you do and
But,
understand the boss is
James,
not there to trip you up.
you're right, because the way I hired someone recently into my business is by inviting them to a different environment. So we went to a really great coffee shop, and I wanted to create the environment. I know that could be stressful hiring for both the person interviewing and interviewee. So it's just because you want someone good in your business, and the other person wants to make an impression and good impression, and that element of stress, yes, of course. So I want to reduce that element of stress by inviting them to a very vibrant place. There is a live good energy in this place, and we went for a coffee, and that's what I did with my three people that joined my business last year, and invited them to this coffee shop where the energy is really buzzing, and this is like relaxing your guard. You can just start being yourself, or it's easier to be yourself back again,
Yeah,
and that allows me to get to know them, because obviously they want to put the best game out there to impress me, but actually that's not what I'm looking for. You will have opportunity to impress me or your boss or anyone by doing the actual job. I want to find out what kind of person you are, and that's the attitude, that's the skills versus attitude we were referring to earlier. It's what kind of person are you. And by doing this, I'm asking questions which are, not really job orientated. I'm asking questions about your life,
yeah,
trying to find out what is the important, what are the important values in your life, at the moment. That will then lead nicely onto what you want to do during working time in my business. So what are your aspirations? What do you want to, who do you want to be? What do you want to achieve in the next 3 to 5 years? Because that's the key
absolutely.
aspect to employ someone. Is I want to get people on my team who want to grow, and I want people on my team who want to challenge themselves in achieving more by having the right people in the business, and they are hungry of the success. They want to go, and they will be driven to achieve more, and that's exactly the kind of people I want to join me. Because if someone's just want to get the job, get monthly paid, and not really focus on developing themselves, these might not be the right people for your business, depending what it is that you're looking for. But if you're building your business and you want to take it to the next level, you want people who want that success in their life, and they are driven. So actually they will help you drive the business. But this needs to be you need to understand that as a hiring person from the start,
Yeah.
because that will then enable you to build your successful team that would like to go on that journey of your success and development.
Yeah, and I think that you're right, Greg. I mean, people need to understand that when a modern business, staff are very, very important. They are the business, and if you can get them to understand that they can make an impact, they can make a difference, they can, have an impact on the customer
Mhm.
feedback. Maybe they can have they can have an impact on innovation. They can have an impact on profit. You want them to
Yes.
they feel like they're part of the business. They're important. They're not just someone that just turns up and they're forgotten about. They want to,
Mhm.
you want to, it's like a bolt on. You're part of the business. You want to feel like that they are very welcome and they feel, amazing to be there. But I just want to touch on something that you were cleverly interviewing them about. And I think that somebody's environment. So what's their environment outside of work? What are
Mhm.
their interests? What's their family commitments? Who are they as a person is very important as well, because you want someone that's pretty chilled, loves life, understands how much of how it's such to be alive, the gratitude of being alive,
Yes.
and being able to be a part of the universe, because that's soulful synergy. So if you've got someone that's really aligned to the beauty of being alive and very grateful for that, and their environment's right, then that's going to come through in the business, isn't it? So you're absolutely right. It's important that we understand a lot about the people when they're away from work, because that's going to affect them when they're in work.
So it's just people who really follow your almost like your ethos, your business ethos. So this is the core values of the business, and also those are very important. You need to be clear of what are the business values, and good attitude, environment, good energy. James, you are very spiritual, and you will ultimately want to and will only attract those people who understand your energy, understand your vibrations. They will be just vibrating on the same level of energy as you. I know this is a crazy stuff we talk about now, vibration, but actually I believe that the universe, the world, our lives are all made of matter that is all made of the matter is vibrating. It's full of
Yeah.
energy everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. Our vibe attracts our tribe. You're absolutely right there, Greg. I mean, that's another whole subject
Yeah.
of spiritualism, because you surrounding yourself with the right people that have the same energy level as you, the same frequency, is very, very important. And you are right. There's an attraction. I will tend to attract those high energy, high vibrational, spiritual people. I'm very honored and blessed to be like that. So you are right. Yeah, I am quite lucky in that respect. But then that's because I put a lot of effort in my own spiritual practice. So I was going to ask you actually, Greg, and because you've been hiring people recently,
Mhm.
how do you start your interviews? Do you tend to ask about them, or do you talk about the business? How do you tend to how do you start your interviews? Because you've done it most recently.
Yeah. So actually, I started with the environment in mind. So just to relax them, and so I can be relaxed as well. Because for me, is I don't want to lose my time when I do an interview, because ultimately I want to make sure that the person who's coming to an interview are the right people. But
Mm,
to a certain extent, you can get the gist of it by talking with them, or on the phone. So before you invest your own time into the interview, you just want to feel and to get that feeling. Yeah, these might be the right guys. They I hear what I want to hear, and these are the right kind of stuff I want to hear about that job, from them, their perspective. By inviting them to a local coffee shop, relaxing the atmosphere. So there's a better attitude coming from me and from them, because the environment is good. And I just asked them, could you please tell me about, you? And could you please, give me, could you just tell me what it is that you enjoy doing in your life? By asking the simple questions, about them, very simple questions. They're questions that anyone can answer. Well, what is that you enjoy doing? You can determine what kind of person they are. What are their values? And the simplest questions are always the best. So
yeah.
keep it very simple. Keep it stupid simple. And leading on to that, you can ask more precise questions. But that's what it is. If you start very easy, you are engaging in a conversation, and interview is all about having a good conversation. Because if you get a true 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 person on the other side, like it, they want to be very genuine, and you want them to be very genuine as well. You don't want them to put the mask on
Yeah.
and have the guard and I am the best person for this role. No. Tell me about you. Why would
Yeah.
why are you the best person for the role?
Yeah. I mean, it reminds me of something that happened to us once, where literally somebody came to the depot and we were struggling for some staff at the time, and they literally turned up. It was almost like the universe had sent me the perfect driver. So he turns up, buzzes the buzzer. Hi, I'm looking for a job. I've got my own van. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, what a gift. But actually, they turned out to be terrible. And the reason they were looking for a job was because they'd been fired from their previous job because they were terrible. So it didn't take long to sort of work that out. I mean, a couple of hours. We generally sent people out with our sort of trainer drivers, and they would come back and give us feedback. So it didn't take very long to realize that, why they'd been fired from their previous job. But my point is that sometimes, it can be too good to be true. So you need to be really careful that someone's coming across and they're just like a perfect fit and everything looks fantastic. And you think, how could this person need a job? They're just unbelievable. You just need to read between the lines. And that's where Greg is talking about getting to know them, getting through the cracks, looking through the facade and getting to know that genuine person. And do you know what? Don't have to be perfect. If you're genuine and you're decent and you're honest and your attitude and your values are aligned with yours, then give them a go. Give them a go. How will you know if they're going to be good or bad until you give them the go? So you're absolutely right. Get to know them, get them in the business. And there is one other thing that I like to do, and it's if you're walking around your business, so perhaps you've got staff that are working. I mean, it was easy for me because I could interview at this very large depot that we had. It was a big depot, lots of activity, and we could walk around and chat. And what I really liked is when someone would notice an issue, a problem, a bottleneck, and give me a solution. That is one of the most amazing feelings, because you can see it, you notice it, and because you're the boss and you obviously see it. When somebody else sees it and they give you a solution, that is a really, really lovely feeling and a good indication that person could be really good for your business. So walk around a coffee shop with them, but also walk around your business with them, and then they can maybe they might pick up on some things that they can see that needs changing. And of course that also will bring up that entrepreneur letting go. Whoa, what do you mean that it can be done better? What do you mean this, that, and the other? And that will also pick up on your attitude as an entrepreneur to understand that if somebody else has got an opinion, somebody else has got a different idea about something, don't just dismiss it as, it's been done like that for years and years and years. It couldn't possibly need changing. You need to look at the way that you think about your business, and let go. We talk about let go again. So if somebody's got a problem, someone's seen a problem, they've got a solution. You as an entrepreneur should let go as well, because it's exciting when somebody brings innovation to your business, something you didn't see before, because that's going to help everything in your business when you can find little issues, little bottlenecks, and improve them.
And James, what I do in my business as well is when I do interviews, is I actually invite, while I feel that the good vibe, and I really would like to, to see what a person's made of, I invite them for a week of experience.
Yes.
So this is no obligation. I always stress this, that there's no obligation from you or from us hiring you or you deciding that you want a job or not. We just would like to invite you for a week of experience, what it's like to work in our team. And we can also experience what it's like to, for you to working with us.
Yeah.
Look after all of the, all of the legalities of it. Obviously, pay them, because if you're asking someone to do,
I was going to ask to get paid.
you want to pay them. But this is it. This is allowing you to see how that person feels and reacts, with the rest of the team in your environment, very natural, and there's no commitment. So there's no pressure of, yeah, I've got to really, show up and be the best game, put the best game out there. But actually, I think this is the best way and the easiest way to you making a decision as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, letting them into your business for a week. That's plenty of time, but you have to be there, you have to be present and just observe. And then if they just if they are the right fit for your business, for your team, if anyone, if they all gel up very well, and you can make a decision. And at the end of that week, I think the decision has been made for you easily, because you can see the energy in the team, you can see the performance is getting better, and you are absolutely sure, yes, they are the right fit for my business. I can see them I can see them doing that job, and they are made for the job. Or if
Yeah,
on the other scale is, actually no, I can see they're struggling, they need help, and just ask them the question, how was this week for you? How what have you found challenging, and what have you found very easy? By asking for feedback, you are getting better as well at the whole process, because everyone sees things, everyone sees the same situation in a different ways. By
yeah,
you getting the feedback from them, you are also learning how to improve that process even better. So don't be
yeah,
afraid to make mistakes, and just go for it. Everyone is different. If you can invite someone for a week of experience in your job, in your business, I think that's best. That's best option you can do.
yeah,
Making
yeah.
sure that you're going to secure the right people in your business.
It's awesome. I mean, that's one of the things. There's a couple of tips that I would give anybody that's looking to get into a new job, and
Hmm.
offer to do it for a week for free. Let me show you my skills, my talents, my abilities by letting me just work for a week for free. I as a boss would love that. I'd love someone to say that to me, because that shows they're committed. And the other thing Greg's talking about is, don't just sit there and talk about your strengths. There's nothing wrong with talking about our weaknesses, what we're
Hmm.
not good at, what we understand we need to, develop, to work on. That's a spiritual thing again, isn't it, Greg? We're not
Yeah.
here as perfect human beings. We're here to grow and to become better versions of ourselves. So what's wrong with bringing that attitude into the workplace and saying to a potential boss, look, I'm really, really good at these things. I'm not so good at these things. I'm working on these things.
Hmm.
But I can make a difference to your business. I've got the right attitude. I've got the skill set. And how about I do a couple of weeks trial? You don't have to pay me, but that will give me the opportunity to show how good I am. And one of the other things I really love, Greg, is when people follow up the interview. I've interviewed people before, and then I've become really busy, and the business has grabbed hold of me, and I haven't quite got back to everybody. And they turn up and they buzz the buzzer on reception, and I'll go down and I'll go, hi, how you doing? And that person will be standing there saying, so how did I do? Did I get the job? And they're getting feedback from me. I just love that. I love that follow up. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be worried about ringing up a business that you've had an interview with and asking how you did.
Hmm.
Hi, I haven't heard back. It's been a week. Who got the job and what are they like? And what did I do wrong? What did I do right? Give me some feedback. I
Hmm.
absolutely love that as a business owner. I'm never, ever too busy for that kind of thing. So have the courage to see how you got on in that interview, and give them some free time if you can,
Yeah, well, not always. You will have someone coming to you and offering, yeah, I'm happy to work for you for for free for a week. I get that, but obviously, doesn't happen every time. It would be great if people could do that, but people needs to feed their families and put food on the table, and I respect that. So I would highly recommend you as an entrepreneur, when you're looking to hire people in your business, is have that in your have that element of a hiring budget, and so inviting people for a week of experience definitely is a good step to do,
yeah.
if you
I
can,
mean,
obviously,
Greg,
making sure.
we always paid them anyway. I mean, at the end of 2 weeks or a week, whatever it was, if that person really was
Yeah.
so good for the business, of course you backdated the money anyway. I always did. But I just love that when people just look at new ways of getting into a business. It doesn't have to be black and white. Be innovative. Be you. Be intuitive. This is all about soulfulness and living our lives from our hearts.
So, James, if we could summarize today's episode, it was about, leveraging the business, but leveraging your time actually, because it's finding the right person in your business is the key aspect to take you to the next level by delegating those, those tasks. And what task should you be delegating? There's a high volume of tasks, such as maybe like emails, social media, something, tasks that are very repetitive, and they take a lot of your time, but don't require high level decisions to be made. They're just a high volume task, or low important task. These maybe like your risk, your expenses, your receipts, uploading them to maybe Dropbox or to any program, or reconcile them on your business. You might not be the best person to do that, because you can get someone else from, can get a VA to reconcile all of that for you. So many different aspects about how to delegate properly, but ultimately is for you to get your return on your time, on your investment, which is your time. As an entrepreneur, you want to get the time back so you can focus working more on the business and not in the business. And that's what you should be focusing on if you truly want to take your own entrepreneurship to the next level. It's working on the business and getting yourself out of the business by hiring right people, by delegating effectively delegating the job, and also embrace the challenge and change in your business by having the right mindset to do that.
Yeah. And I think the final thing for me would be, understanding that what got you here, Greg, won't get you there. So if you want your business to be bigger, you want to have your message, to more people, you want to get your purpose, your real reason for being in business, you want to scale that up. You need to understand, you need to find new people, and you need to let go of the old paradigms, the things that are holding you back, because change comes from making new decisions, being a different you. So I would say what got you here won't get you there. Change your mindset as a boss owner. Start saying yes instead of no. Start hiring people with the heart, with the right attitude, and believe that you can grow your business by making decisions that you haven't done before. Try new things. That's what I would say.
Absolutely. 100% agreed. And James, any final words before we end today's podcast?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're an entrepreneur, just learn that once you let go once you find that who in your business, just keep looking for them. Understand there are people out there that can do an amazing job, better than you can do, in those elements that you don't want to do. So have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Thank you very much for staying with us despite the little technical hiccups. But here we are live for you from our studios. And thank you for being with us. Thank you for joining us on Sunday evening, Sunday morning. If you have any questions, if you will have any comments, if you would like to share your experience, please leave the comments below and we will get back to you, or send us a private message. Thank you so much. Enjoy the weekend.
Be soulful.
Have a great day. Take care.